Hello and welcome. Silrace here with Escape from Tarkov. Let me tell you a story of a noob trying to finish the mole task with nothing but a knife. This whole thing came to be simply because I am not good at the game. And as such, I am very much prone to losing firefights and thus losing my kits. So I come to the situation where I don't really have much in my stash and I have a free day to play the game, without really having time to play much in the coming weeks. Or so anyway. So yeah, that led to me simply trying to do the mole task with nothing but a knife. I took this as a challenge to see if I could even get it done, and also maybe annoy a bit the folks who would actually gun me down, since there wasn't really anything for them to loot, afterwards, after they managed to take me down. The individual parts of the task I had already stumbled into while trying to learn the game and the map. After all, it isn't really difficult to simply run into the group of dead USAC soldiers, and also the dead body with the key on it. Not to mention, there is only one locked door in the building with the dead body that has the key. And I did these runs both daytime and nighttime, partially to vary for myself, but also to try and figure out if one would be easier than the other. Now, obviously, I did a lot of dying while I was attempting this. Occasionally I would run right into a scav and get blasted in the face. A few times I ran right into another PMC a few seconds after spawning in. And obviously got gunned down. And of course I would run into people a whole lot of times inside the task area itself, inside the building. Getting myself killed inside the building, either trying to get the key or trying to leave after I have already gotten the task item. At one point I even tried a whole different strategy. I put water and food in my pouch and found some out of the way spot to try and hide in. The idea was to wait until later in the raid and to attempt to get the task done. However, I gave up on this idea fairly quickly because the two times I tried it, both times a scav wandered into my hiding spot and blasted me in the face. So I simply went back to running recklessly to the actual objective. The one thing I did not expect, however, is just how many actual campers I would run into who specifically camped the task room where the task item is, the hard drive, simply to blast players trying to get this task done. This was actually my biggest hurdle out of all of my deaths. Getting a raid where someone wasn't already there waiting for me to burst through the door. What I found the most amusing though from all of this camping was checking the profiles of these folks who were camping in that room, as every single one of them had thousands of hours in this game. The highest I saw was 4,956 hour account lifetime, camping a newbie task in this task room. Amusing to me, at least. However, I did learn that there must be some other way to get into the room, since most of the time the door was locked when I got to it, and yet there was a player inside. However, I didn't really try and find out how to get in there. At least not while I was attempting this. I did get close quite a few times, like this one, where I am making my way to the stairs, just keeping an eye out, and I see somebody leaving through the front door, so I make it my way down the stairs and check on my extracts, and actually decide to go behind the big blast shield thing to loot the whatever this is at the back. gives me a headset. Very good. And then I'm like, well, that one went out the front door. Maybe they are now far enough away that I can get out of here. Go to the vehicle extraction, it is still here. And this is where I run into them and decide to, okay, well, I will go somewhere else then. My bad. So I bomb it down this long hallway and get to the garage building out here. However, this is where I then run into a player. Or this one, where I basically just barely managed to make my way down the stairs when I run right into another TNC. By now you may well think I am insane for trying this kind of a thing over and over and getting absolutely nuked. And you may be right. However, I simply put myself into the same mindset I have done hundreds and hundreds of times over the years while playing StarCraft. Both Brood War and StarCraft 2. When refining a build order, I would just do the same thing over and over and over with minor adjustments to try and make it perfect. Then this happens. I get the absolutely perfect spawn. And I start making my way through the garage, through these dead USAC bodies I have been to multiple times by now, and just bombing it down this corridor. At this point I didn't really yet know if I was better off just sprinting all the time, or like I'm doing this here in this room, which is, you know, walking to try and make a little less noise. In case there is somebody just passing by outside, they might not hear me. I wasn't sure, but I probably should have been sprinting like crazy. And also, you know, expending time by fumbling with the key, as in clicking the wrong buttons and whatnot, is not helpful. Not helpful when you're trying to do something in a hurry. However, those sort of mistakes happen. Move on, right? Yeah, but I do get my way upstairs, and as you can tell I am right now mostly just sprinting, because I'm hoping I am the first one here. No camper behind the door since I had such a close spawn. Get the unlock on the door, and the open button didn't work for some reason when I was trying to activate it. I blame that one on the game, but it is what it is. And I have the hard drive once again. And that's where you may see me running in the wrong direction. This is because my phone rang, as in real life. And so I looked at it and I just kept moving and I was like, hey, where the heck am I? And now, as I'm approaching the staircase, I have spent so much time faffling about up here, I don't know whether I should be hiding or just sprinting for it. So I was slowing down, but I probably should have just kept on sprinting. Because here, I see somebody over there and I'm like, oh, get around the corner. And thankfully they missed me. Thankfully they missed me. So I am just running for that car extract. I am just going for it. Hoping that this person is also doing the task. Double check. Okay, nobody. It does not seem to be following. Let's get to this car extract. Oh, that's outside the bounds. Let's not do that. Thankfully I did bring the rubles. And now I wait for the extraction. So what I actually ended up doing here, after checking around, I just lay down and crawl right as close to this car as I can to be out of sight, right? And then I spend a moment just you know, looking around and whatnot. And eventually what I actually just do is I get up from my chair and just go get myself a drink, because either I finally extract in about 22 seconds or 20 seconds or something like that, or somebody comes over and shoots me in the head and can't do anything about that anyway. However, this is the one try where I finally get myself safely extracted, and the task is complete. With that successful extraction, the mole task is finally completed. And here is some statistics for you at the end. So this took me 21 attempts to actually finish. 21 attempts of running at it with a knife. 2 out of those 21 attempts I got killed seconds after spawning in. 4 out of the 21 I got killed by a scab. 7 out of the 21 I got killed by somebody in the building, whether I was trying to get in or whether I was trying to leave. So both of those counted in that 7. And finally, 8 out of the 21 there was somebody camping inside the room. That's over 1/3 of the attempts. Somebody was already camping specifically inside the room, waiting for people to come in, just to, blast them. Like I said, it was my biggest hurdle. And that is it for this story. Thank you very much for watching, and do hit the subscribe button if you aren't already.